I viewed the autopsy pictures. They had the frontal part of the cerebrum here in the skull out.
So when the picture was taken, you think they pulled the skin back up over this wound?
That's the only thing I can postulate, because the back of his head was gone. This was a huge hole. It was on the right. It was 9 to 10 centimeters across, and you could look right into the brain.
Crenshaw.
Large hole is at the front of the head.
See something else. This is just almost a personal a question. Are you pretty comfortable today with the notion that someone was firing at President Kennedy somewhere from the front?
Yes.
Are you equally comfortable, or are you not comfortable with the notion that there is forgery of some sort in the official documents of this?
I feel there probably is. I certainly could not be, held down to saying exactly how that is, or even approximately how it is, perhaps. But I feel that there has been some kind of attempt to cover up what was going on.
The witness saw.
Was there corroboration for a shot from the front? Dallas clothing manufacturer Abraham Zapruder filmed the motorcade as it drove down Elm Street.
It was about halfway down there. I had a shot. And he slumped to the side like this. Then I had another shot or two. I couldn't say what it was, 1 or 2. And I saw his head practically open up, all blood and everything. And I kept on shooting.
2 days after the assassination, Life magazine bought the infamous Zapruder film. Its moving images were not shown to the American public for 12 years.
The most obvious thing you extract from the film is that the head moves backward, and that suggests a shot from the right front.
It is unknown exactly what the film suggested to the members of the Warren Commission, since their report failed to even mention Kennedy's violent reaction to the headshot.
That's right, folks. The Warren Commission never even mentioned the headshot. Think about that. It was the Zapruder film that caused the second major investigation because of the Zapruder film. Because of that headshot. And the Warren Commission never even commented on it. Just pathetic. And Abraham Zapruder, that's what he told the Warren Commission. He saw the president hit on the right side of the head. He thought perhaps the shots came from behind you. Well, yes. So, that was his testimony to the Warren Commission. There was one little problem, though. He had a camera in front of his eyes. Let's continue.
Let me show you, to my best recollection, what the wound looked like to me that day in trauma room 1.
Before each doctor looked at the photos, he described the wounds he had seen back in 1963.
I could see the president's head wound quite well, and I was probably looking into a wound that was on the lateral or the side part of the head and the back part of the head.
It would be this portion of the head right here.
As I remember, it's like this, that there was a big wound, big deficit in his skull and the temporal parietal area.
Now, here's what the Warren Commission in their autopsy, they claim the autopsy showed. A small little wound in the back of the head. Yet on the Mormon photo, as we go in, take a closer look, I did many years ago. Something very unusual you see here. Here's somebody else that has examined this.
Inconsistencies within, and the pristine Mary Moorman photograph
allowed me to go in and actually measure the wound optically without image processing. As we go into the wound and as we expand the wound and magnify it, you can see that the pixel elements, or each one of these little dots, is represented by dark squares or light squares. Now, if there were no wound in the rear of President Kennedy's head, all of the squares would be the basic reflective value or the basic shade of gray that his normal hair coloring would be on this day. Every time in my years of experience with this, when there is a concave or convex area that is a deformation of the overall image, there is absolutely no question that the case is, as it goes darker under this situation, that this is going from an area on the top of President Kennedy's head down into an extremely deep hole, because the entrance wound that supported this exit wound was fired from the right frontal area of President Kennedy, and it exited through the rear. Instead of trying to find shooters or gunmen in the photograph.
Well, I have tried to find shooters in the photographs, and I found a few other things too. Now, before these images were made, were found, the Warren Commission defenders had some little hope, some case to keep fending off reality and truth. But even with this truth before their very eyes, they're still trying to deny this fact. Now, is this the only image I've got of the back of the president's head? No. I also looked somewhere else. Thanks to Robert Grodin's enhancements of the Zapruder film, they were zoomed in some. I've zoomed in either further, and this is what I see. So we have two independent photos here, the Mormon photo and the Zapruder film, which both show this large wound in the back of the president's head. This is not words. This is hard evidence, hard photographic evidence of an exit wound in the back of the president's head. Now they can deny that. They could deny anything.
Large hole is at the front of the head.
See something else. This is just almost a personal a question. Are you pretty comfortable today with the notion that someone was firing at President Kennedy somewhere from the front?
Yes.
Are you equally comfortable, or are you not comfortable with the notion that there is forgery of some sort in the official documents of this?
I feel there probably is. I certainly could not be, held down to saying exactly how that is, or even approximately how it is, perhaps. But I feel that there has been some kind of attempt to cover up what was going on.
So what is this image again?
The exact moment the fatal bullet struck the president in the head.
Right here.
Some believe that one of these shadows may be an assassin standing behind the fence. Lee Bowers, a railroad employee who was working, fatal bullet struck the president in the head. Some believe that one of these shadows may be an assassin standing behind the fence.
So now it didn't look like much.
Some believe that one of these shadows may be an assassin standing behind the fence.
As you can see, I was taking extreme close-ups of that many years ago.
One of these shadows.
This blob right here that doesn't appear to be like much, just well, anyhow, I was taking a lot closer look here. Let's see if you see what I saw. I was beginning to see a face here, What really caught my eye was this upside down stripe here. I couldn't figure out what that could have been. So I was looking a little closer. So that's a little closer up of that image right here. As you can see, this is on the, this is picked up on television as they zoomed in on the Mormon photo. This was in a book, double page enlargement. So you get the gist of it. I was looking there, and let's take him now. Here's some of the images I've extracted from that. How about a colorized version? One face there, one face here. How about a little larger view? And by the way, well, I gotta do it this way. I got all kinds of images here. Yes, there it is. Here's an independent close-up somebody did. I don't even know who it was, but this was a digitally enhanced version of the Mormon photo. They never even noticed this. I made a enlargement and I put it up here in the front. They were looking back here, back along here. And that may not, I know it's hard to see. I didn't see it for several minutes. And once I started putting the pieces together, once the brain starts putting the pieces together, like I say, all I was looking at was this upside down V. Let's see, there should be something. Yes, that upside down V. And then I noticed there were a few others. There was this, what appears to be a circle here, just above that. And then I started putting the pieces together. You can start seeing the faces. Once you start seeing the faces, understand this is the left arm. That's the History Channel, that's the close-up. Again, I'm losing my... Where is the color? There's the colorized. So there's definitely something very unusual there, to say the least. And when you put it all together, I can find that one again. Well, anyways, here's an even more extreme close-up. Let me see if I move that in a little. Now, this is very curious that at that distance, I mean, it's picking up this, and it does look like some writing much similar to this. That's a very long distance. But anyways, I can't get this to work. So anyhow, it's very curious that, if I can find that one. Where is it? It's very curious that you'd have two images like that found in this one photograph. And not only that, but an image like that also. Now, anyone who thinks of the lights and shadows, there's always a possibility of lights and shadows, but those are the damnedest lights and shadows I've ever seen. And as far as I'm concerned, this makes more sense than anything.